at this! Look at the battling, and it is a safety car. Here comes Mika into slow corner. Whoa! Almost! And away we go here in the Netherlands for F leaning down towards the next couple. Oh, it is! Oh my god! Whoa! Bit of the season as Nano wins! In Monza for FRLT Tier 1 of 4. And right beneath! Oh, he goes! Hello, and welcome to FRLT Season 5, and it's time for round number 12 of assists. Yes, round number 12. I cannot believe it. 2 races to go in the season. Just 2 races. It's mental. I have no words for, like, how does this even, like, how this season's gone by so quickly. Does not make sense. I cannot believe it, how quickly this season's gone by. I have no words, but I hope everybody is absolutely having a brilliant evening. Tonight we come to Saudi Arabia. Sadly, I do apologise, guys, for this, but I don't have a track map. I don't seem to have a track map for Saudi Arabia. I have no clue how. I haven't got a track map for this track. Still absolutely deludes me and just confuses me completely and utterly. But yeah, we're missing a couple of drivers at the moment. Missing quite a few drivers right now. So we should hopefully be getting the rest of them in soon. Because I know we're missing a couple right now. We should be having 18. We have 13 in at the moment. But as you can see, the calendar, we've gone through Monza, Mexico, Brazil, the Netherlands, the mystery race, Hungary, Imola, Great Britain, another mystery race, then Japan, Belgium this week, Saudi Arabia, and then next week we're going to Kota. Yeah. So yeah, so we've gone through quite a few races now, which is surprising how many races we've gone through. We should be getting racing hopefully soon enough at some point. I'm having to invite a couple more drivers because we're a few people short. Strange, not often are we this short on people, but it's the way it goes sometimes. No complaints. No complaints. Yeah, we're missing a couple of people still. I think we're missing, I'm not sure who we're actually missing right now, because we've got 15 in. we're missing an LR driver. I do know we're missing an LR driver. We're missing Connor as well. So we are missing 2 there. Yeah, so we're missing 2 there. We're missing another one. And I think that one that we're missing is Gotto at the moment. So yeah, so I do apologise. Everybody will come off of the screen. Just while we get the last invites. I did not think we were going to be going this far over on the time. My apologies. I did not think we were going this far over. That's my bad. But yeah, so we're getting everything done. Very as quickly as I can. So at the moment, I can't seem to find one driver right now. So we are missing Connor. So at the moment, we do have the slight problem of one driver is missing. And I can't seem to find them on my list of friends. Which is annoying. I do apologise, everyone. I don't know how this... So yeah, so there we go. That's all done. So yeah, okay. So we are going to get readied up in a minute. We are missing 2 drivers right now, but that is fine. We'll just go ahead without them. But with that, let's have a quick look at the lovely standings. As you can see, it is currently SKG on top, 203 points. 2 races to go in the season. And they've got a good 44-point lead in the championship. EVR second on 159 points. SET out of the championship picture. Only first and second are still in the championship picture. No one else. Realistically, SET could win the championship. Mathematically, if they score 72 points, they will win the championship. Or if they score 70 points or even less than that. So they could mathematically still win the championship, but the likelihood of it is incredibly low. PR, though, pushing for third in the Constructors as well, pushing for that trophy to their season in assists. AZR as well, the battle over 5th in the Constructors. Sort of raging on because just incredibly small 16-point gap between 5th and 8th in the Constructors Championship. ABE as well ABE have also shut down, which means they won't be racing in these final 2 races. But there's no replacement team for them because it's so late in the season. So they are currently cemented in that 9th place and on 39 points. I've also got another graphic, actually. Let me change over to the next one. There you go. Here's one. This is the points per race. It's interesting. SKG have actually had the most races with points over 20 points and over 30 points as well. Only one other team this season has actually maxed out at 34 points. This is excluding pole and fastest lap, by the way. It's excluding pole and fastest lap because some of the races didn't get streamed, so I couldn't see. But we're getting into qualifying now. 17 drivers are all in, and I cannot wait to see how this goes. As you can see, long track, lots of corners on this track. Carper's disconnected. Gotto, is he in the right car? Is he not? He's not in the right car. Gotto is supposed to be in the Alpine alongside Carp, but he's not. That's not great. And also, somebody's just disconnected, so I'm going to have to re-invite Carp quickly. he's still online. Is Carp online? I don't see him online. If he's not online, I can't invite him back. But we have got some cars out on the track, and the first car out of them is actually Pesci. Returning Pesci for the first time this... he's returning for the first time in a while, if I remember. But interesting. Let's see. Can I get an invite to Carp? If he's online, I can get an invite to him. Otherwise, he's... No, I can't. Just give me a second. Okay, so, as you can see, Pesci's actually been overtaken. Jay Snowy make his way round. Not Jay Snowy. I'm looking at a Das. That's the driver to look at. As we can see, riding on board with a Das, let's watch him on his lap as he heads down towards turn number 1. Heading into the first corner on this track, throwing the car through into that first corner, hard braking as well, having to keep it clean through the second corner. Now heading up towards the fastest section on the track. You've got to get this cleanly away. You've got to get this right. And through this first sector, it's very difficult, but if you hook it up right, it works well. And out of the middle sector, it's, well, out of the first sector, it's going to be a 31.957 to start off qualifying. That's the time to beat. Through this middle sector, most of it's actually pretty easy. This is really the only difficult part of the section. You've got to get it right, and a Das does. Remember, this is championship up for grabs. It's pretty close, 44 points. So if tonight, 1 minute exactly on the dot for that middle sector, by the way, I've got to say that at the moment, if EVR score 8 points more than SKG, then they are back in the championship battle for the final race, because you can only score 36 points. But for SKG, they need a strong performance, and it's a 26.690 to start off the evening. Let's see, can I do apologise, everyone, but we've got to try and get the driver back in if he's come online. There he is, and he's back online. And Pesci beats that, by the way, already to a 26.5, already beating that by quite a big chunk. Clasito can't do that. He can only go into a 27.2, so he's quite far away. 7/10 at the moment, off in lap time. Connor's just starting his lap, so going to have to wait a little while. Here comes David Svats, who goes P3. He does a 26.8. Not too bad for himself. Not where he wants to be, though. You want to be a little bit further along. I think we've got Jay Snowy making his way around. He's about quarter of a second off of Adas's pace in that middle sector. And across the line, he only does a 27.1. So he finds himself over 6/10 behind provisional pole at the moment. So he is very, very, very far behind provisional pole. I have to say, it's not the best for himself at the moment. Not where you want to be exactly. It's very poor positioning. It's unlucky positioning as Kaname goes a little bit further behind. Not great. Not great at all. But it's interesting. A couple of drivers, as there goes Fat Cat Batman. I'm sorry, that name is forever going to remain in my memory for being a legendary name. But he goes quickest of all, 26.3. Finds about 2.5 tenths, quarter of a second over Pesci on his lap. So SCT maybe fighting back into this championship a little bit more than we thought they were going to. Maybe pushing that little bit extra. And half snow, and I believe Connor crosses the line. Connor, 26.4, slots into P2. EVR need this performance 9. At the moment, the Das is P4, Connor's P2. That would be just 5 points in the race, so it would be closing in quite a bit. And I think that was Michael Heydrich that just went into P3 with a 26.499. It's getting very close, I have to say. The top 4 split by just over 0.2 of a second at the moment. Looking very intense, looking very, very, very close there. Gotto, who's meant to be in an Alpine, is in a Red Bull, but he's on 59.7 in that middle sector. So that's 0.3 quicker, by the way, than what Adas did in his middle sector. We'll have to see what he does up to the line. And across the line, he goes P2, ahead of Connor into that position. AERT pushing hard for the podium. They got a win last race. They want to make that a podium. Again, they want a chance to that. Another victory this season. Maybe get back-to-back victories. Push for that 5th in the Constructors. Get a decent finish at the end of the season. That's what a lot of teams, I think, are hoping for at the moment, is to get a decent finish by the end of the season. I have to say that is what a lot of teams are hoping for at the moment. As you can see, Flipper, he goes slowest of all. P12, VMV, not coming out well so far this season in that performance area. They're not coming out well in qualifying. They've really had a bit of a struggle this season. We've got Carp, who's on a lap. He used to be a VMV driver. He used to be at VMV. He's no longer at VMV. And he's now at AERT, and he's pushing hard. It's not a great first sector, actually, from Carp. He's not done well in that first sector. He's about 0.2 off of the time, off of what I remember was Adas's first sector. So he's looking like he's going to slot into about P7 at the moment. But I have to say, in the last 2-3 races, AERT have really brought themselves into contention for being one of the front runners. But I will say, that sort of 59.9 though from Carp, just about 1/10 faster than Adas, so he could even be jumping up into P6 here. But even throughout this, we've said about AERT, they had a very slow start to their season. They didn't do well in the first 2 races that they were in, and then they sort of really started to push back. And that win last week, that 18 points really helped them. And across the line, Carp goes P7. Across the line, that final sector was not great for him. Looks like he's losing quite a bit of time when it comes down to straight line speed. It seems like he's losing a lot of time there. But Carp P7, his teammate P2, so looking pretty decent at least there. I do have to say though that AERT have become a much bigger threat compared to what they were at the start of the season. I'm always going to say this, that they have become a much bigger threat now than what they were, because in sort of they've gone from being that team that occasionally pushes for points, and now they're the team that does incredibly well and does it. And Connor has retired, by the way, so he's going to cement himself in P3 as Nikita knows he hasn't done a good enough lap, and he comes in. It wouldn't have been a great lap in the end. So quite a bit of disappointment there for himself. So Connor is stuck in P3. So if anyone improves, he's going to start to lose position. So very strange strategic plan. But let's watch on board with Pesci on how he does, because he's got some good pace so far. P5, this is going to be UFRT's best qualifying performance since round 4, by the way. It's going to be their best qualifying performance since round 4 this season. They didn't score points, remember, for 5 races. AZR didn't score points for 5 races. UFRT have gone sort of 2-3 races at a time without points. So they brought in the big guns this week. One of the better point scorers in UFRT, Pesci, with a great history in Season 4 of scoring points. Can he do it again? He's P5 at the moment, so an improvement would definitely be on the cards for Pesci. it's going to be interesting. He's doing okay. He's up slightly. He's not up a huge amount, so he might see himself possibly P3 or P2. It's very close. 33,000 splitting P2 to P4 at the moment. Ooh, bit of a struggle through that hairpin. Not looking good for Pesci out of that final corner. But across the line, where's he going to go? Pesci! 3/10 onto provisional pole. A 1 minute 26.231. Pushing this... pushing these lap times even further down. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable lap time there for himself. Kanami coming across the line. He goes P8. He jumps the DAS. At the moment, SKG aren't getting the performance they needed. I think Yannick Asaris, by the way, has just done a lap as well. He's gone P5. So still behind EVR in the end. Bran has just gone P11. Good lap there from himself. Good lap indeed. Jay Snowy fails to capitalize on his lap. Unless he's going for another one. He might be. I don't think he is. But he's failed to capitalize off of that. Adas as well failing to capitalize off of his lap. So is he going for another one? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. His fuel is quite low. So maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. Nikita is starting a new lap. Michael hasn't had a good run. He's going to stay in P7 at the moment. Gotto is up on a very good lap in the AERT car. He's on a very, very good lap at the moment. He could be going... Where's he going to go? He goes P3, over a 10th found. And that's a strong lap. Half Snow as well, by the way. We missed it. He went P4 as well, ahead of his teammates. So P4 and P5. That is currently all they need. That's 21 points for EVR. And it's only 8 points for SKG. That is enough for EVR to stay in the championship into the final race. We'll have to see, because that looks incredibly interesting to me. But let's see. Flipper, let's see what can he do when he crosses the line. He improves by almost 4/10, but he's still dead last. Not a great session so far. Not a great lap so far. Not what they needed. But Gotto doing well for his team up there. Of course, he's in the wrong car, though. He's in the wrong car. Questionable because he's in the wrong car. But Karp is on a lap. Let's see what Karp can do. He's pushing. He's pushing hard. He's P11, by the way. That was what a 26.8 got you in the end. That's where it gets you, P11. That's how close it is. 6/10 splitting 11 drivers at the moment. And it's a purple middle sector, of course. We know this game has a tendency of lying about sector time, so we'll have to see when he actually crosses the line. But he is, I've got to say, he is looking pretty decent on his lap. I think there's at least a 10th in this at the moment. Very solid through the final corner, focusing on that exit. Excuse me, on that exit. Karp coming up to the line. Where's he going to go? He finds, oh my god, 4.5 tenths. He goes P4, and AERT, P3, P4, they're looking incredible tonight. They're looking very pacey, the same as last week. Looking very pacey again this week. But the driver that's confusing me is Fat Cat Batman, the world's best name on this grid. I'm just going to point this out. This is the best name I've heard from a driver, but we're going to ride on board with him because it's going to be his final run. And I also admire the difference in strategy. He's very much out there on his own with the compared to the competition. Only Nikita seems to be on an actual lap or possibly even an in-lap, but he's gone very early. He's the earliest of all of the top runners, so we'll have to see. A little bit clunky through the first two corners, not perfect into this section. Again, little bits of understeer hitting the McLaren. It's not looking great from himself. He's still getting bits of understeer here and there over the curbs, clambering over them. Again, looks a little bit wild. He's not looking great. He's up by 1/4 second though, so he could be pushing for 25 here. This will be very interesting to see in an SCT podium in Saudi Arabia. It will be very interesting to see. But Fat Cat Batman heading through into the next chicane. Oh, you can see again, little bits of understeer are hitting the car, but the McLaren looks very, very balanced at the moment. I've got to say, that McLaren looks incredibly balanced on track. Let's see, what is his middle sector going to be? Oh my god, 59.3. He's up by 0.3 of a second. A little bit of a wobble, though. Out of the chicane, he is pushing. At the moment, he would be on for 25.9, which would absolutely obliterate the competition. But is that track evolution? Could it be that? Is it the grip just getting lots better? But again, lots of sliding. Even the front end getting loose. Out to the final corner and across the line. Is he going to get it? No, he's not, but he's going to get 26.176. As Fat Cat Batman goes on to provisional pole here in Saudi Arabia. And it is an absolutely brilliant lap from himself. I've got to say, really strong lap. Next driver is going to be Adas. We watched him in the beginning. He hasn't been able to improve on that, by the way. That 26.690, his middle run. He invalidated, so he didn't get that. But let's see. This is his final run. Remember, he's got this final chance to actually get this, get these positions gained. He's in a championship battle here, and at the moment he is. Oh, as he's invalidated. Has he got enough fuel for another run? He doesn't. He doesn't have enough fuel. Adas's qualifying session is over. It is over. For Adas, his qualifying session is done. And that is that. Disappointment floods the way for SKG as at least one of their drivers will be starting outside of the top 10. As we can see, Half Snow is making his way around the first sector though. Let's see, is he gaining any time out of this first sector? See the car just absolutely sticking to the ground. He's down by 44,000, so he's actually not had a good first sector at all. He's had a very, very mediocre first. It's still very quick compared to the grid's average, but he's in a very tight spot at the moment. So as you can see, he's heading around this middle sector. This chicane, he's got to get it absolutely perfect. A 10th will get him up to about, if he gains just over a 10th, he could go onto the front row. This is what EVR need tonight. They need this man to do well. Nikita hasn't made it to the line. Carp hasn't either. So that is those two finished. Fat Cat Batman as well retires from the session. That's 3. We also know that Adas hasn't been able to do a good enough lap. And that's going to leave him out of it. And who is going to do what now? Heading round through the corners. We're going to have to see who's going to go where now. Half Snow heading up to the line. Can he take provisional pole? No, he can't. He goes P3 onto the second row. That is going to be enough for himself at the moment. Michael goes into P6. Now it's David Svat coming across the line. Can he do it? Can he improve? He goes P7 behind his teammate. That's even better for himself. Can Yanni Casares do it? No, he can't. In the moment for the championship. He can't. He needed to do it. Neither can Kaname. He's going to have to come in. And that's going to be more disappointment for himself. Clasito goes into P12. And Kaname also retires. And that is him done. Pesci! Fastest of all. 26.098. That is the new time to beat. I'm looking to a Red Bull randomly. Brand doesn't improve. Can Gotto do it? No, he can't. He stays P3. And that is that for qualifying. What an end to qualifying. And for the first time this season, it is UFRT on pole. This is crazy. This is crazy. A 10th splitting the top 3. Pesci is on pole, followed by Fat Cat Batman. Then Gotto, Half Snow, Carp, Michael, David Svat, Connor, Yanni Casares, Kaname, Adas, Clasito, Bran, Jay Snowy, Flipper, Nikita, and Supermoto. Supermoto way off on his own very much, but I've got to say, this top 3, and then going from 4th down to about 9th, are just all so close. Less than 2/10 splitting them. Absolutely incredible stuff in qualifying there. Absolutely incredible stuff. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. It's surprising. It's incredibly surprising the way that went. UFRT, after after round 3, they just lost all sort of push. But in the end, I've got to say, I have got to say, pole from UFRT was not something I thought was going to be on the cards. I did not think we were going to see a new pole sitter this season. UFRT, by the way, have never achieved pole in assists. In their 2 seasons, they haven't achieved pole. But in the end, it's absolutely incredible to see from UFRT to take their first pole. Let's see, can they convert it into their first win as well? We'll have to wait and see. I know they've gotten a podium or 2 as well. They've gotten a few podiums, but they haven't gotten that win just yet. And that will turn around their season as well. They'll have a chance to finish. They'll go up to 32 points and have a chance to finish 9th in the Constructors ahead of ABE going into the final race and not finish last. It's been a tough season compared to last season. I mean, even if they do, they scored, 39 points last season, I believe. I think they scored 39 points, something around there. And in the end, they weren't there. They finished 8th in the Constructors, I think. And so realistically, when you look at that, 7th or 8th in the Constructors, but this season, 39 points is what gets you 9th. It's so much harder this season. Last season, it was 12 points would get you last. This season, to be last is below 39 points, which is absolutely crazy, the increase. Just shows how much more layered the grid is compared to previous seasons. But yeah, strategy is going to be interesting. But the most interesting thing now is SKG versus EVR out on track. EVR ahead with both drivers. SKG, final runs, I'm not sure what happened to them. It just seems like maybe the pressure's gotten to them and they just haven't been able to make it through. But there's a lot of competition. I don't think Yannick Casares had the pace from the outset either. Like, he didn't have it straight away. It was clear to see that Yannick Casares was a bit off the pace. His first lap setting in P7 in the grid, so he was a bit off the pace of the EVR drivers anyway. So even if, I think probably if Connor had raced, he probably would have been a few positions higher. But at the moment, this means EVR will continue the championship battle into round 13 and the final race of the season. It just depends how it's going to go. Who sees who winning? Let me know. Who do you think the championship? Does everybody think? Everybody watching, do you guys think we're going to see the championship go down to the final race of the season, round number 13? Let me know in the chat if you think it's going to go down to round 13 and the finale. For the first time, by the way, in assists, it will be going down to round 13. This race is already, I think, the latest we've ever had it for championship-wise. Between first and second, it's already the closest I think we've ever had it championship-wise for points. So I think before it was 1 out of the second to last race. But here we are. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go here in FRLT, Season 5 assists. And it's time for round number 12 at Jeddah. And it's a great start from Pesci, but it's a great start from Fat Cat Batman. And through turn 1 and turn 2, the front row are battling it out. You can see Gotto's gotten away well. And there goes Fat Cat Batman. He's into the lead here on lap 1. And straight away, he's done it. I think they're both on the medium tyres as well. But that's a brilliant start from the SCT driver. Pushing for that victory. Pushing to bring themselves and, well, hold themselves onto third in the Constructors and get that trophy. And you can see sliding all around as the tyres are cold. But it's absolutely a brilliant start from the man who started second and on that front row. And he's completely caught the man of Pesci out. But there goes Yannick Casares, already up to 7th. Already finding a couple of places. Connor not finding many places. He's still 9th in the grid. I don't think he's gotten that full running that he needed. So he's down a place. Yannick Casares is now up 2 places. So a good start for SKG. But still in the end, it's only 5 points. And on with the 1, it's not going to be enough. They're still going to be going into the final race with a championship battle on their hands. But you can see it is very close. I'm just excited to see when the DRS is going to start to come in. And you can see, look at that. Yannick Casares almost pushing David Spat through the corners and down the straight. He's almost pushing that Ferrari all the way. Look at this. They're going 3 wide. Down the inside goes Michael. Whoa. Oh my God, that was a little bit close for comfort. And in the end, Yannick Casares gets one Ferrari and then he gets the other. And so that's up to P6 for himself. But here comes Michael down the inside once again. He's giving a hard battle to Yannick Casares. He's not letting that position go so easily. But in the end, he's going to have to. You can see Connor as well making a move on David Svat. He tried to go for the move, but he's going to have to sit there as Adas, by the way, loses out of position to Kaname as well. So not great for himself, just as they score a couple of points. But oh my god, Fat Cat Batman has made a huge mistake, and he's dropped down to P4 already, and that has just landed him in a whole lot of trouble, as now Pesci retakes the lead of the race here on lap 2, and that mistake has possibly just cost SCT some massive points in the championship. But they're not at risk from PR, by the way. They're not at risk. They're going to hold on to the championship for now, because they're currently gaining 12 points over PRs. They're not scoring any points for PR this evening. It's been qualifying horrendous. This isn't a controller strong track, so in the end it doesn't work out for them too well. But look at this, Yannick Casares. He's pushing like mad to get in front of Half Snow. Any chance of a championship battle just does not help. It doesn't help going into the final race. SKG want to clear up this championship now, but look at this. You've got Connor, who is battling with David Svat and the two AZR drivers over position. And remember, look at this. Look at who is on a different set of tyres. The hard tyres for Connor and for Adas, as Connor makes his way past David Svat. That's why Connor's been a bit slower for this start, because he's on the hard tyres. So he's, of course, going a bit slower because he's on those hard set of, on that hard compound. So for the moment, it's not been great for him. He's stayed in positions. Yannick Casares is up 3. Half Snow is down 1. Fat Cat Batman's down 2, and Carp is up 2. But it's looking very close. But for Connor, this is actually a decent start. He's back up into the position he started in, and especially on the hard tyres, being one of just 2 drivers on the entire grid to ultimately be on the hard tyres. I wouldn't say it's been a bad start from himself. I will say I don't think it's been a bad start from himself, and he's just gained himself back another point, really hurting SKG a little bit more, but that extra point is coming back their way. But it's going to be close at the moment. At the moment, EVR gaining 3 points over the team of SKG, and then they're also trying to add on that extra 3. So they're adding on 6, but they need 8 points. They need to score at least 8 points more to stay in the championship battle. So at the moment, for Yannick Casares, his main thing is just getting past this EVR driver of Half Snow. But Half Snow is giving up a good battle here, even though Yannick Casares is using everything he's got. He's just not been able to. And there goes a sneaky dive bomb down the inside, but it's not going to work on him. It's not going to work on Half Snow. Half Snow knows the moves of Yannick Casares too well. And also his teammate, Connor, is getting into a perfect position here. Oh! And a bit of contact. Very unhappy there. I think Connor's going to be shaking his head definitely behind the screen. You can just see that something's happened here. He's sustained an issue. It seems like he's sustained a bit of a problem. Has he gotten damage? No, something's gone wrong. It looks like he's gone into AI mode, and that's just dropping him back. Whoa, my god, I'm not sure what the AI is up to, but it's causing a lot of chaos in this mid-pack. Let's see, we'll have to see whether he's gotten this problem fixed or not. But it's a very bad problem to be hit with so early on in the race, as he's now dropped back, by the way. He's dropped back a lot, and that's down to P12, and he's lost a lot of positions there because of a problem. Pesci leads. Pesci leads the way. Yannick Casares has burnt out his tyres. It's very clear to see he's burnt out his tyres because he's a couple of tenths behind now. That's not worked well. Fat Cat Batman is pushing for position on Carp, and there is a big old battle for the podium here. At the moment, I mean, AERT are going to currently get a double podium and will take 5th in the Constructors. By my count, they will take 5th in the Constructors, or at least 6th. But there goes Fat Cat Batman into P3. And now Half Snow, once again, all over the back of Carp as he's having a couple of connection problems. He's disconnected from the lobby again. And that allows Half Snow up into P4 and back into the championship chance. But at the moment, SKG will take the championship as it stands. Carp dropping through the field. It's just not gone well at all for Carp. It showed up in qualifying, and it's showing up again here in the race. And this is not what he needed. Bran, though, also back up into the top 10. And PR at least taking possibly 3 points from the evening. Coming in once he gets past Carp. Whoa! And a massive slide. He almost doesn't even finish the race because of that massive slide. And he's now got a problem. If he's got David Svat all over the back of him, full position. And there goes David Svat. And he loses that points position. And another point gone for himself. And there goes Carp down to P10. It's not working out at all. But I've got to send an invite to Carp. See if we can at least get him back into the session. If Carp is online, I don't see Carp being online. This is a problem. It looks like he's lost all connection. But Pesci, by the way, I've got to talk about this. Pesci is doing incredibly well in the lead. Since he's taken the lead, no one's challenged him at the moment. So he's doing very well. And there goes Bran on David Svat. A track that PR did not think they were going to do well on. They're at least taking a couple of points from it. At least they can say at the moment they're on for 3 points. So at least they're taking some points away from this race, which would be higher than fourth did last season, even though it is 12 races long compared to just I mean, PR haven't won a race this season as well. Last season AB did, so not last season, season 3 AB did, so you know, every season is just different. It's so incredibly different every single season, but it's so incredibly close this season here in assists. Carp is down to last, and disappointment sinks in for AERT. It's now one man in the race for a podium or even a victory and back-to-back wins for AERT. I mean, to be honest, if AERT come away with back-to-back victories, I don't think we'll be seeing them complain at all. I don't think we're going to be seeing any complaints at all from them. I've got to be honest. By the way, if it's a little bit off center, that is car dependent. I have found it is car dependent slightly if it's a little bit off center. Because like with the McLaren, it is a little bit off center. My bad. The camera is a little bit off center. Bran now comes into the pits, which allows Connor to come back up into the top 9. And David Svat is round! And that's our first spin of the evening as well. It's our first spinner. Full spin as well for David Svat. But Connor's back up into the top 10. Allows him to get those extra 2 points. But at the moment, it's 15 points for SKG. And it's just 13 for EVR. So at the moment, SKG will leave with the championship out of Saudi Arabia. Which is absolutely crazy to think about. Closest championship still today. This is the closest championship we've had coming into coming into round 12 or the final race. No championship, by the way, in FRLT has ever come to the final race except Fours. Still the only championship that came down to the final race. But assists and no assists have never gotten this close, especially assists. It's always been won. Season 1, 2, and 3. Season 1 and 2 were both won in round 11, so this is currently the closest season. And of course, the last 2 seasons were 10 rounds. As there goes Connor up to P8, and there goes Michael, by the way, getting past Yannick Casares for P5, dropping, and that's SKG dropping 3 points. So they're dropping down to 12 points in this race as they now actually drop. They will drop behind EVR. And they will lose points in the championship. As look at Yannick Casares, he's battling it, but he's just losing so much time. He's lost over a second now to the group ahead. And that means he might be condemned to just P5 at best. But at the moment, the groups are starting to split out. But you can see Connor make his way on his own now. He's far ahead of Konami, so no chance there. But at the moment, it will be 14 points for EVR, and it's going to just be a lonely 12, so 2 points gained for EVR. They need to make that 8 points gained to stay in the championship. So SKG at the moment need to hold position. You can see Connor is catching at a massive rate at the moment. He's caught by about 8/10 this lap alone. So it's not going well. And that's somebody going slow. That's Supermoto. Another spin this evening. Another driver spins. That David Svat and now Supermoto. Maybe tyre wear and overheating is becoming a problem for a couple of teams. We're definitely seeing that with LR and with AZR. So at the moment, how it goes, AZR will increase their championship to 87 points in the championship. AERT will close in by another 16 points. They'll go from 62 to 78, so they'll bring themselves fully into contention. There goes Adas going round Michael. We've just seen Yannick Casares as well pull into the pits. He's pulling onto the hard tyres, so it looks like the mediums do not last long at all. They only last about 8 laps of racing for the mediums. But I have to say, Yannick Casares did push very hard and very early on those medium tyres, which I think is the main reason why he's had to stop early, because we've got, it's like the race leader here, who's heading round. All of the top 6, by the way, all still within a second of each other, but we've got Pesci, who's still heading round on those medium tyres onto this 9th lap, meaning once he completes this lap, it will be 9 laps on the medium tyres. So we'll have to see how far these guys go on these medium tyres to see whether they fully work. Because if Pesci, Pesci hasn't been pushing all out, neither's Gotto or Fat Cat Batman. That's it, not Catman. What I'm on about. And then Half Snow as well. I think we've seen that with the Das and Michaels. So all the top 6 haven't fully been pushing on these medium tyres. They've more been just kind of sitting around. But here comes Fat Cat Batman for P2 in the race. Unable to make his way past. He's going to have to sit there and wait. There goes Gotto and Fat Cat Batman into the pits. They feel 9 laps on the set of... They feel like 9 laps on the set of medium tyres is enough. And then change to the hard tyres. Where is this going to place them when they come out of the pits? There's Yannick Casares. Where is Yannick Casares going to come out in relation to these guys? He's going to drop in... Oh! And in the wall goes David Spat! And Yannick Casares has jumped Gotto and jumped Fat Cat Batman. So it is about 2 seconds a lap currently that we're seeing. But David Spat... Oh my god, his day has gone from bad to worse. Oh my god, I have no words. So unlucky for David Svat. Spin and now it pushed into the wall. Not a great day at all. Pesci is making his way around though, and he's having an interesting race. I want to come back to this race leader, Pesci. UFRT, by the way, have just led the most laps this season. They've led more laps this race than they've led for the rest of the season. I want to point that out. They only led about 8 laps for the rest of the season. They've now about to go on to lead another lap to make it incredibly 9 laps led from... They've led 9 laps in this race from lap 2 to 10, which is more than they've led all season long. So Pesci will have more laps than everyone else combined, which is interesting to see with UFRT. I will be honest there. And Fat Cat Batman got damage. He got damage off of his pit stop, so that completely kills his chances of winning the race. It's completely killed his chances of winning tonight's race. That has ruined SCT's evening. And at the moment, they're not going to score any points as it stands. They're not going to score any points. That's horrific. I have no words for their bad luck this season. SCT's bad luck in assists have been unbelievable. Now Michael gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. The first penalty of the evening, by the way, on lap 11. I thought we'd be seeing a lot more, but the caliber of driving we're seeing tonight is absolutely incredible. Half Snow, by the way, we've got to talk about Half Snow because, whoa, and a massive slide there from himself. That's allowed a Das to get within range to attack. But we've got to talk about Half Snow. But for a second, let's leave that as there goes a Das trying to go round the outside. But, I'm always going to say this about Half Snow. He has had an incredible race, again, as he now pops into the pit, same as Pesci as well. Both heading in. Whoa! And speeding into the pit lane and hitting into the pit lane wall. What is he doing? What was he doing there? He gets onto those hard tyres, but that 10-second time penalty is going to hurt him a lot when he comes out of the pits. He's come out far behind Yanni Casares, by the way. Very far behind. Davis Fat gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. See a bit of interesting racing going on here. Whoa, as there goes Michael past Jay Snowy. This 10-second time penalty is going to set him back to about P11 as it stands. He's going to go P11 with it. So he's got to find a lot more time now over the drivers behind. That's just really poor timing for Half Snow to speed in the pit lane, especially in a championship battle. Das now leads. But, I've always said this. This is what Saudi Arabia brings. It brings unpredictability to every race. And it very much has here, penalties like for Half Snow. Massive penalty for Half Snow. Damage out of the pits for Fat Cat Batman, the guy that was battling for the race lead. And who took the race lead and made a mistake and then has been battling for that podium in the race lead ever since. Yannick Casares going for a bit of an earlier stop. He's found a lot of time, but, is he going to stay in that sort of lead with the older tyres? Connor and Adas going for the hard tyres, going for that different strategy. This is the strange thing. It's these drivers going for the different strategies here that have changed up the whole evening. But the good thing for Pesci is that he's on the fresher tyres. He's going to catch Yanni Casares. He's also been just incredibly fast. And I think we can see that Gotto is slowing down Yanni Casares quite a bit. 3/10 through the first few corners. It's clear to see Yanni Casares doesn't have the initial pace to stay in front. So we'll have to see how that goes. Fat Cat Batman has now set the fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 29.653 for the race. Very interesting to see there. You can see a lot of drivers sitting around. A lot of drivers. Quite a big gap. Adas and Connor still yet to pit. Not sure where they're going to come out because it's very close at the moment. I love this view. I love this helicopter camera. It's absolutely brilliant. It just shows the nature of the track and how twisty it is from above. But Adas leading SKG's first few laps of the race. Strange to see not Yanni Casares leading. It's the first time in a long while that we've seen Yanni Casares hasn't led a lap in a race. We've surpassed the halfway point as well in tonight's race, by the way. We've surpassed that halfway point. Adas going for another lap. He's going to go on to lap number 14 in this race. Michael, by the way, gets past Bran into the hairpin and a great overtake there for himself. Good overtake. But here comes, at the same time, here comes Half Snow as well. Even with his penalty, he's still making up places up to P7 in this race. And it's a good move up to P7. Important points needed for himself. Yannick Casares as well making the move for P3. Getting ahead of Gotto in this race. At the moment, SKG won't win the championship as it stands. Well, as it stands, they will. But after pit stops, they might. They might. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see at the moment. We're going to have to wait and see whether that's going to happen or not. Because there's a long way to go in this race. There's still a very long way to go. Davis Fat pulls into the pits. And Davis Fat becomes our first retirement of the evening. As he retires. A terrible race of luck for him. And oh, Michael! He retires as well! AZR, their championship falling apart. In the last moments of the season, their championship starts to fall apart from podium last race back to now not scoring points. They've already had 5 races this season without scoring a single point, and they're going to make that a 6th in 12 races. That means they've only scored in 50% of the races this season. That's worse than teams like VMV, LR. That's worse than, by the way, that's worse than LR, VMV, PR. It's horrific. That's absolutely terrible. AZR's night is over and done from their own mistakes. ADAS comes into pit. So does Connor as well. He's followed into the pit lane. Hopefully holding up Adas slightly there. He switches to the medium tyres. There goes Connor. Where's he going to come out? He's going to come out in P10 in the end of this race. So he has actually gotten a little bit... he's slightly further ahead than he thought he would be. Kaname as well, trying to make his way past Jay Snowy, but he goes over the limit, and he's not going to get it. It's not looking like good points this evening for SET at the moment. They look like they might just score 7 points from this evening, which does mean, as it stands, they will lose the lead of the championship. They will lose third in the championship to PR to go into the final race. So the battle for that final place for the trophies, top 3, first, second and third, will go on to round number 13. But Kadame not making it the best for his race. But look at how close Pesci has closed up. Undeniable pace from Pesci. He wants this win. As Yannick Casares gets past Gotto once again. But this has allowed Pesci, by the way, to actually close up within a second of these front two. On fresher tyres as well. Much fresher tyres, I do believe, if I'm correct. As you can see, 3 laps compared to 6 laps. So half the wear. For poor old Yannick Casares, he might just be seeing the loss of the lead of his race. He might have to concede the lead of the race to Pesci and UFRT to take a win in round 12, becoming another team to win this season. I mean, SKG have, AERT have. At this rate, UFRT will as well, so we could see that third. EVR have. We've also seen SET, that's 5 teams at the moment. I think VMV have also won that 6 teams. 6 teams this season, I believe, that have all won a race this season. If UFRT win tonight, if I'm correct, that is 6 teams that have won if UFRT win, which means over half the grid, 60% of the grid have at least won a race, which is about on average with previous seasons. I mean, season 3 though, 10 races and only 3 race winners, 3 race winning teams in those 10 races. Last season, of course, we had, I think, 6 teams win out of 10. Could be seeing 6 win out of 12 at the moment, but we'll have to see, because Pesci is following very closely to this battle. He's all over the back of Gotto. He's looking for that move. He knows he's got it. You can see Half Snow as well is starting to catch up to this battle. So he's starting to catch up for the positions. But we can see Edas as well make his way past Jay Snowy for P7, by the way. That's a good move. Look at this. Side by side into turn 1. Gotto and Yannick Casares both battling it out. But look at that. Pesci looking for the move. And Yannick Casares loses. By the way, that is a 2-point loss as well. When it comes down to points-wise, it's actually 2 points Yannick Casares loses from that. So now, by the way, there's 5.6 seconds, 5.7 seconds, sorry, splitting 4th to 6th. So at the moment, Half Snow will go into P9 in this race. He will go into P9 as it stands. If he can keep growing that lead, he could even finish P8, possibly even higher. Who knows? We'll have to see. But P9 at the moment. Look at this. Pesci battling through the middle sector with the man of Yannick Casares. Is he going to make this move easy or not? AERT once again lead a race this evening, even though they are in a Red Bull. No, Gosso is in a Red Bull. He is AERT. He's an AERT driver. The game just chose the car for him because he joined late. But Pesci battling with Yannick Casares. 2 opposites. First in the championship versus last. I did not think we were going to see this tonight. A very strange race we are watching at the moment. We've got teams that aren't even in any championship battle. Or even in the top 4, by the way. Battling with the teams that are lower. Look at this. Connor's also made a move, by the way, for P8. That's another point gained for EVR this evening. At least helping themselves out just slightly there. Look at Pesci. He's all over the back of Yannick Casares. Those tyres are going on the Aston Martin. He knows they are. Kaname and Brand battling hard for P5. Kaname up to P5 in this race. But the gap is just... Whoa! Contact between ADAS and Bran over P6, but this gap is now 5.3 seconds, by the way, to Half Snow. That's gained over a second since we last looked at it. And going down to P9 will make that close to about 7 seconds. So it's at the moment, Half Snow is battling a bit for his P4. Whether can he hold on to it? He needs another 3.5 seconds to his time. Sorry, 4.5 seconds he needs. But that gap is growing, by the way. It is growing. So he does have a chance here to actually finish, you know, P4 in this race as it goes to 6 seconds. So there is a real chance here that this could happen. But Pesci pushing again. So is Yannick Casares. So it looks like Yannick Casares saving a little bit more. You can see ERS-wise, Yannick Casares has less ERS. And there goes Connor, by the way, for P7 on Bran. And that is an important championship move. Another 2 points gained from 3 points up to 5 points now for his position. But let's see. How's it going to go? Down into turn 1. Look at ADAS. He's trying to make a move. But that SCT driver of Kaname. Whoa, that's a big moment for ADAS. He's not gotten away well with it. Look at this. Into the next corner. Oh! Battling between the two. Oh my god. Oh! And ADAS. He's gone. ADAS down to P9. Squishing drivers everywhere. And I think he's going to be hunting for a little bit of revenge. But that's dropped him from P6 down to P9. He's just dropped 5 points with that. Which means, at the moment, it's 18 points for SKG. And it will be currently 19 points for EBR if it ends how it is now. Unless Half Snow can get that bit further in front, it's 6.1 back to Kaname. 6.2, sorry, back to Kaname. And then remember, add about 2 seconds onto that. So he could ultimately finish this race possibly in P4 if he keeps gaining the way he is. He could finish in P4. Most likely, he's going to finish in P5 in this race. So we'll have to see. How is this going to go? Pesci now with the rear wing open. But Yannick Casares is timing it at the moment very well. He's timing it incredibly well. But his tyres are going off. And it's proving to be a bit of a problem. As you can see, his tyres are going off. As Jay Snowy now swaps positions with his teammate Bran for P7 in this race. Still looking like a really good performance in the end for PR. From a bad qualifying performance to 8 points. Oh! And that's ADAS round again. He's round, he spun it. And that's another 2 points sacrificed for SKG. It looks like their evening is done. Especially for ADAS, that means just 16 points. That means, at the moment, it's going to be 17 points. It's not enough. It's still not enough points. For EVR, 17, that's only 1 point over. They need 8 points. So unless something happens to Yannick Casares, that's the only way I see this race changing. It's been a great race from these guys, though. I have to say it's been incredible to see what these guys can do. Remember, Yannick Casares is on 11 lap old hards. He's still got another 5 laps to go, so we'll have to see whether he's going to be able to make it to the end of the race. I do think he will. Don't get me wrong, I do think he is going to make it to the end of the race. 7 seconds now between P4 and P5. Watching the clock at the moment for position, because this is the battle over position at the moment. It is the battle over who is going to finish in... Who's going to finish 4th. But look at this, Connor. He's chasing after Kaname. So in the end, they'll just swap places. So they'll score, and they might just score enough points, but Half Snow needs to find some positions. And so does Connor. There needs to be some penalties. There needs to be some big penalties coming drivers' ways. Who knows? We're going to have to see whether there's going to be anything happening at the front. Because Connor is most likely going to finish in this 5th place. He's most likely going to finish in 5th tonight and score those 10 points, or probably 4th at the moment. Get those 11 points, and Half Snow will most likely finish in 5th. Based off of his pace, he'll most likely finish in 5th. And only secure those 10 points. So 21 points for EVR. They needed to get 24. They need to get 24. So if Half Snow can get his penalty removed, he might just be able to do that. But this is the championship at the moment. Or if Yannick Casares makes a mistake, he's just gone over track limits there quite harshly. But Yannick Casares needs to make a big mistake in this race for him to lose out. He needs to drop down to more like P4, drop a couple more points, and then it's the chance for EVR in the championship into the final race. We'll have to see, because this is insane at the moment. 4 drivers battling for the chance. If Half Snow could get his penalty removed, he could definitely see himself getting a possible chance at the victory. Will SKG secure the championship out of this race? Will they secure their first championship? They secured 4s. Are they going to secure assists? Are they going to become ultimately the 3rd assists champion? Are they going to see that? It's going to be close. It's all hope that Yannick Casares doesn't make a mistake now. That's all the hope that the Aston Martin's going to have. And for SKG, all of their hopes are going to be on not messing up these final few laps, because you could see Gotto is most likely going to win this race for AERT and take a back-to-back victory for AERT and take, you know, another win, second win to the season, pushing themselves up into the championship chances. But I'm sitting here waiting to see what is Yannick Casares going to do, because he's got Pesci all over the back of him. He will drop. If he drops down to P3, it's back on again. That's the problem. If he drops down to P3, it's back on again. It'll be 4 points. It'll be 4 points at the moment. If EVR can finish P4 and P5, then it will be 21 points, and that will be enough. That will be just about, that will be exactly just enough. But now EVR have to do this. But look at Pesci. He's moving for position, and Yannick Casares down to P3 in this race. He's dropped a place, and that is, look at this, racing hard still. Oh my god, this race is absolutely crazy at the moment. And this is the last chance. Last effort, last chance for these guys. Clesito gets a 3-second time penalty. That's going to drop him outside of the chance of points. Well, he's going to finish P10 actually at the end of the race. So 1 more point for VMV this season. But this is all going crazy, because now look at this. Yannick Casares is outside of second. That means Half Snow, if he can get his penalty removed, Half Snow might just finish in P3 and reclaim the championship chances for EVR's season. Might this just happen? Might this just happen? I don't know. Brown is having a massive moment. He's had a massive moment. He's run out. He's not run out of fuel. He's just made a mistake. Yannick Casares with a 3-second time penalty. He's just had a 3-second time penalty. This could fall in the way for Connor. This might just work in favour for Connor in the end. If Half Snow can slow down Yannick Casares, it might just work in his favour. Unless Half Snow knows he can get his penalty removed, I don't know how this is going to change. We're going to have to see. Can Connor put in the best final couple of laps we've ever seen? The best final 2 laps. He needs 2.3 seconds. He needs to find this lap time, like right now. And he's finding time. He is finding time, but he's only finding bits of time at the moment. It's not enough for him to get there, because he's dropping bits of time in other places as well. 5.1, down by about 0.2 of a second so far. Yannick Casares is over a second behind. We know he's struggling with the hairpin, so he's losing time on the hairpin, I do believe. And that's down below 5 seconds. This is now the massive rush. This is now the massive rush. Who is going to get there? Are we going to see possibly EVR take this championship? Are they going to keep it running to the final race? Can Connor do it? He's closed in by about a half a second this lap. Can he do it though? Is he going to be able to do it? He's closing in a decent amount. And he should get DRS from Carp. From a Ghost. He should be able to get DRS from Carp by the end of it. But look at this. Kaname as well is pushing at the same time. He's gotten DRS. This is what Connor needs. He needs this boost. That's a second gained. He needs to find a bit more time. He needs to find a bit more time over Yanni Casares. Just a little bit more time. Yanni Casares is struggling on his hard tyres. We've still got a battle for the lead, which I am going to look to now because it's getting very tasty. Look at this. Pesci versus Gotto into the hairpin. Look at this. Side by side. The battling continues for the lead of the race. Will it be AERT? Will it be UFRT? Who is it going to be? The two longest names going against each other. Let's see. Pesci has the lead, but he's got DRS to face. This is going to be his biggest problem. Connor's caught up. Connor is within 3 seconds. He's done it. He's found the time. This is clearly been a mistake from Yanni Casares. Look at this. Gotto is all over the back of Pesci for the lead. It is all coming down to this last part of the lap. Riding on board with Gotto. He's pushing everything he's got. He wants to get him at the line. Down the inside goes Gotto. Sliding into the final corner. There they go side by side. They're still battling. Who's going to cross the line in first? It's side by side all the way. Gotto wins! Oh my god, the voice crack is crazy, but Gotto wins in the end. And that is P1 for Gotto. And the win for AERT. Pesci just misses out. Then it is Connor in third. He gets that podium. Yannick Casares fifth. It is going to be Half Snow in sixth, which means that is 20 points versus 10. That is enough. That keeps SKG in the championship. It keeps them in the championship. Yannick Casares ends his race. Oh my god. That's still enough. It's still enough. Holy. In the end. Holy. What an end. It's a win for AERT. Another win. Back to back. Back to back races. Celebrations for AERT. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. One of the best last races of the season. One of the best races of the season altogether. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And there's been a connection problem. Fun. The game just doing what it does best. Breaking itself. But let's have a look at the end of the day. Who has gone where? Gotto wins for the team of AERT, followed by Pesci, Connor, Kaname, Fat Cat Batman, Classito, Supermoto, Flipper, Jay Snowy, Nikita, Adas, Yannick Casares, Half Snow, who were actually P5 and P6, Carp, Bran, and then our retirees of Michael and David Schvat. What an end to this evening. I have no words for tonight's race. Absolutely unbelievable. By far one of the best races of the season and closest races of the season. Ultimately, that is that. But I've got to say, that is incredible to end off tonight. Absolutely incredible. So with that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and also click on that notification bell to know about all the content we're going to be doing for the rest of the season. Also shorts coming in after the season ends. Also make sure to join our Discord server. The link is down below. Also make sure to go and follow us on Twitter for other news as well. More in-depth news, as you see. Hashtag FRLT F1. on Twitter or X, whichever one you want to call it. Ultimately, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's have one last look at the calendar before we go away. Next week, on the 1st of October, yes, the 1st of spooky Halloween month, we are going to be going to COTA. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Goodbye. Look at this! Look at the bad thing, and it is a safety car! Here comes Mika into Stoke Corner. Whoa! Almost! And away we go here in the Netherlands for F1 down towards the next couple. Oh, it is! Oh my god!